Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be hard to take and settle you down now because, you know, I'm only serious for 5 minutes a day and I've already used mine up. So now I've got to take and really try to be serious but not be serious. Can I do that? No, I got to know, so it's okay. I'm going to do it. Well, here's what we're going to talk about right now. We're going to talk about positive, self-image. That's pretty cool because I'm cool, aren't I?
Yes. Very.
I said I'm cool.
Yeah.
Right. Lee Poulos says self-esteem is the immune system of the mind and the spirit. You know what he was trying to take and say there? Your mind only knows what you put into it. So if you only put good stuff in, guess what comes out? Good stuff. I love this song. I was on a praise team back in 1970. I loved it. I've missed it so. It's all good. I'm going to take notes for a little bit, okay? This is a really important part for me. And I know it's late at night, and I know we're kind of getting down the end, so it's just kind of calm with me. When I talk about self-esteem, this becomes very important to me because you're kind of young, aren't you? And you know, people are going to tell you things, and you're going to hear things about yourself, and I'm going to tell you what, you need to take and know how you are a good person because God made each and every one of you in a different way. And that's the cool part. That's the cool part. Well, here, let me take and share something with you. Henry Ford, who was a pretty smart man. Anybody know who Henry Ford was? Who was he? Ford Cars. Okay, very good. He had a saying that says, if you believe you can, or you believe you cannot, both will be true. You get that? If you believe you can, or you believe you cannot, both will be true. Anybody can tell me what that means? That's right. If you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can't, you can't. Sounds pretty easy though, doesn't it? Okay? And so here's the ticket, gang. Now I've only got 5 things really to take and share with you. And I know you can remember 5 things. I know, and when I went to take in the seminary and all those kind of places, they told you only take and talk about 3 things. I know that. It's okay. Give me 5. But this is good. This is good stuff. So you ready? Now, you can't change everything in the world right now, can you? And you're really not in control of everything, are you? But here's 5 things you're in control of. You ready? 5 things you're in control of. First thing is your attitude. You know, you've probably heard it say your attitude controls your altitude. And that's a whole lot of truth to that, because whatever your attitude is will control how far you take and go in this life. So that's the first one, okay? We've got 1, attitude, okay? Second part of that is this, and this is the one that's really important to me, is your spiritual life. Your spiritual life controls everything. And because when you start walking with Jesus, you'll take and find your life changing. The fun part about it is you get to take it to be around each other. And that's a good thing. Okay? But when we're talking about your spiritual thing, I want you to take and think about your values. Anybody know what your values are? That's the kind of things, how you rule your life, which things you live your life by. Anybody heard about those 10 things that are in the front of the Bible there?
Thank you, man.
Imagine that! What a good thing! So, could we draw our values from that, you think?
Yeah.
I think that would probably be a good thing. The next part about this spiritual part is your commitment. Okay? And for me, being committed as a Christian means that I'm supposed to go out and talk to other people about what it means to be a Christian. I'm supposed to take and pass that on. That would be that great commandment thing. Now, you guys have heard that, right? Give me the head shake, because I know you have. I know you went to Sunday school. It's all good. And the last part of that part is the study. Now, for me, this has been the hardest part. Now, our church just did something called Read the Bible in 90 days, and everybody signed up before it because they thought, oh, we can finally read that Bible in 90 days. This is good. You only have to read 12 pages a day. And that's what I told them. I stood up in front of the whole crowd and said, you only have to read 12 pages a day. On 12 pages a day, it's really easy. Well, you know what? 12 pages a day in that little fine print, that's a whole lot of work. And by Friday, I realized I signed up for something maybe I didn't sign up for. But the discipline of it has kept me every morning getting up early to take and read the Bible. Now, what a good thing that's been. Because I'm growing and I'm going. So we've talked about attitude. We've talked about our spiritual background. Now we're going to talk about social and emotional. Now, this number 33 one, being our social, that's who you hang around. So who are you hanging around? What are you doing? Because I'm going to tell you what, who you hang around will determine who you're going to be. Did you catch that? Who you hang around is going to determine who you're going to be. I'm going to tell you how that's going to be huge in your life. And as you go around making good decisions on who you're going to hang around, you know what? It's going to be tough. Because you're going to be tempted to take and not hang around some of the people you should be hanging around. Because you want to be cool. You want to be in. I know. I was that little skinny kid too, Rich. That's all good. The next part, I'm really hit you hard. Number 4. Physical. Our physical body was given to us to take and maintain. And you know what? What's really crazy about that is at my age now, I don't exercise like I used to. Or ever did. But I was a lineman, and I used to take and climb every day, and I was always up over 100 feet, and you had to be in pretty good shape to do that. So I was always in pretty good shape. But since I retired, you know, I don't do that quite as often as I used to. So I have to take and get up. That means I have to actually exercise. Now, a big part of that is nutrition. I know you guys hear about this stuff all the time. It's what you eat and what you don't eat and what you put in your body. But you know what? You get my age, you're going to drink a lot of water and you're not going to eat right, okay? It's going to happen to you. So enjoy the other stuff while you can. But I'm going to tell you what, you need to take and think about the nutrition. And the last thing I want to talk about in that situation is your stress. There's good stress and bad stress, and good stress is this. Good stress is making sure that you have your ducks in a row and you're never overestimated what you can do. Take and find something you do well and do it right. Stick to it. Don't overcommit yourself, because when you overcommit yourself, that's when the stress really starts to happen. Okay? Good stress, bad stress. The last part of this is your mental situation, where your mental is. And when I talk about mental, I want to talk about this. Planning. Making a plan for yourself. Got your pencils out? Okay. If you're not planning your life, someone else is and will. If you're not planning your life, someone else is and will. And I guarantee you, the people around you, if you let them, will plan your life. Now, I'm going to tell you what. If someone else is planning your life, I guarantee God's not planning your life. And you're not listening. And you're not following. You're not doing. And this is a tough side. Okay? Believe it or not, I know how it is. I was actually young once. I actually had dark hair and a big black beard. It was about this big.
Paul Bunyan?
Oh, yeah. Actually, it was like ZZ Top, so I used to split it down in half. I thought it was really cool. It wasn't cool. I didn't bring those pictures for a reason. When you start talking about planning, making sure you're taking good planning. How many of you keep a journal? Any of you? I'm going to encourage you to take and get a journal. Now, in this journal, here's what I want you to take and put down. There's 2 pages in a journal. Everybody know? There's a right page and a left page. Yeah? In the right page, I want you to kind of keep track of what's happening to your daily life. Things that happen, things, you know, good things, bad things, the way you think what you're doing. The left side, here's what I want you to keep track of. I want you to keep track of those, maybe the good books somebody told you about, good magazine article, maybe a good saying, maybe something you heard, maybe something you learned in Sunday school. Goes on the left side. Now, every couple months, you want to take and look back. But you're not going to spend a lot of time there, but you're going to take and learn. I work for the United States Air Force. The United States Air Force has this really cool thing called Lessons Learned. I love it. It's a book. Every time they come back from a flight, they take it all, go in, they take off their patches, and there's no rank or anything, and they sit down and they talk about everything that went good, everything that didn't go so well. Lessons Learned. It's a really good thing. I've kept one for a lot of years, and it's really helped me, so I'm going to encourage you to take and do that. This next section is really heavy. Okay? So I'm going to make it fun. Deal? Yeah. How you see yourself will determine how others see you. How you see yourself is how others will see you. So what do you see when you look in the mirror? Do you see a bright, intelligent, enthusiastic, fun person? Someone you want to hang around with and be friends with? Oh, yeah. Good. Because that means you have good self-esteem, and that's good. And that's what it's all about. When we talk about this self-esteem thing, we talk about perception is truth. Anybody ever heard that? Perception is truth? That's what people think becomes reality, because your brain doesn't know whether it's right or wrong. We just know what's put in there. Okay? But when we have 2 people come together, we have this thing called expectations. Now, when I came in today, I met everybody at the front door, and I had this really expectations of what was going to happen here tonight. And you know what? When they met me, you had an expectation of what you were going to take and hear me talk about. Yes? Okay. Well, now the expectation gap that happens when people meet is either this big or it's this big. Okay? So, good self-esteem, how you see yourself is how other people see you. Starting to make sense now? Okay, cool. Now this next one's a really mouthful, and I can't ever get it out unless I read it, so just bear with me. How others see you and how they express how they see you will have an effect on how you see yourself. Yeah, I didn't get it.
You get like a chalkboard and draw
Yeah,
chalkboards?
this is what you're supposed to talk to these kids about. And I'm going, they're not going to understand that. So I'll tell you what, we're gonna put that. Here's the ticket. Self-esteem. You were given by God a set of gifts and talents. You were given this wonderful opportunity to take and walk with Jesus. And here's what I'm going to tell you what. If you're listening and you're walking with Jesus, you know what? He's going to take and show you how he sees you. Jesus is going to show you how he sees you, and it's not going to matter so much how other people see you. He sees you as what? Perfect and a winner. Now, a few years ago, I know it's back before most of your time, there was a movie called 10. And in 10, this was this perfect person. Perfect lady, she was the perfect person. And everybody was just trying to take and be a 10. Well, when I look in the mirror, I'll tell you what I see. I see a 10. You don't see a 10? I know I'm kind of losing a few hairs up here, and I had to get it cut short yesterday because my hairdresser said I'm getting a little spot. But, hey, what do you see? 10? Yeah. When you look in the mirror, what do you see when you look? A 12. Who said that? All right, all right. Look, it's what's all about it, because who matters? Who matters? You matter. I love doing what I do. I am very, very fortunate. I get to take and travel the country. I get to take and work with a lot of people. Next week I'll be in San Antonio, Texas, working with a bunch of young people.
San Antonio!
Cool. It's fun when somebody in the crowd actually knows where I'm going. It's good. You know, it's a lot of fun. I get to take and do this all at once. I get to share with young people. I get to take and see how their faces change. When I take and look at an audience, I see 10s. You know why I see 10s? Because I see the potential in each and every one of you. I see all the things that are possibilities. I see possibilities. And I'm a dreamer. I'm a dreamer. I didn't do real good in school because I was a dreamer. I was always dreaming. And I still am. My wife tells me all the time, you know, you're a dreamer. But here's what I found out. When I walk the walk, and I talk the talk, and I get up and read every morning, and I get up and study. And I follow those 5 things I was talking about. The attitude. Everybody remember the word? Can you put those back up for me, please? I'm sorry. Did it back up? Good. Okay, so if you control your attitude. No one else does. You know, when I was a kid, my grandfather would take and wake me up in the morning and he'd say, get out of bed. You know, and he told me this story. He says, you've got a choice every morning when you get up and get out of bed to either be happy or grumpy. And we got a lot of work to do, so you have to be happy. Let's go. Okay? But the ticket is there. He was really telling you the truth, wasn't he? You've got a choice of your attitude. In your spiritual life, you have a choice. Now, I'm going to tell you, the dedication part and the being disciplined, it's hard. It was hard for me to get up every morning. It's hard for me to do it now. I'm supposedly retired and not have to get up in the morning. You know, but 6:15 every morning, I am up and I'm reading the Bible till 6:45. Okay, at 6:45, I take and pull out my journal and I write in my journal. Because I have a book that needs to be done, and I'm getting calls from the publisher, how come it's not done? Okay. I gotta stay on task. And you guys got homework, right? You gotta stay on task. Yeah, but it's all part of the deal. But what I'm learning is the more I'm staying in touch, the more I'm taking teaching and doing what I'm called to do, hey, it's becoming easier. And this is fun. When we take and really start breaking this all down, I tell you, when we ask the Master to come alongside of us, Jesus Christ, it will change everything you take and do in your life. It'll change everything you do in your life. And I'm going to tell you this because it's not easy every day walking with the Lord. It's not. And having good self-esteem is not easy because there's going to always be somebody around you who tells you something different. But only you can take care of it. Only you can take care of the things that you can take care of. And you have the ability to take care of your attitude, your spiritual and your emotional, physical and mental opportunities. Those are things you can control. And they're yours to control. Not anybody else's, they're yours. When my grandpa was raising me, he always asked me some questions, and one was, what's the worst that can happen to you? What's the worst that can happen to you? What? You die? That's not the worst that can happen to you. I'm going to tell you that right now. Don't go to heaven? That could be the worst thing. Can't fulfill your dreams? Could be. Torture? Yeah, that'd be pretty bad. When you're out there and you're following and you're doing what you're supposed to do, and you're reading, you're being disciplined, what's the worst going to happen to you? Nothing. Nothing. Because you know what? You can get up and do what? Get up and boy, you guys are good back there. I'll tell you what. I thought they had it here, but I guess not. You get up, look up, and link up. Remember? I know they're all falling asleep, aren't they? It's portal. Okay, I'm going to end up with this. If you get nothing else I said tonight, if you get nothing else you heard from me anywhere else, if you get nothing from me, remember this, okay? And it's important. It's important. Self-esteem, positive self-image, does not begin with what we have and what we do. Self-esteem has nothing to do with what we have and what we do. Nothing. It only starts when you take and look inside yourself for self-discovery. That's where it starts. Rich and I have a wonderful life because we take and work with people, helping them help themselves, look inside themselves and answer those questions. And I ask them all the time, what's next? You know, everybody I work with, I ask, what's next? What's next? What's next? What's the worst that can happen to you? What's next? And that's a good thing to ask. And it's a good thing to take and write down for yourself. What's next? Thank you very much.